Hey everyone, welcome back to another video here on Tawaiko. Thank you for stopping by. If this is your first time, welcome to the channel. If you're returning, welcome back. We've got fish tanks, we've got furry animals, we've got the likes, and we've got some updates. So first and foremost, all of those are still in the rec room for the time being. There's a bucket right there full of water, and if we walk out this way, the fish room's doing good. So if you saw last episode, which actually isn't done yet, so if you want to see what happens with these tanks and what happens with the tanks in the rec room, you're going to want to go check out that last video. But as always, because I feel like every time I do a video, there's always 16 different videos going on at the same time, and it's never just one. And we'll sit in front of the axolotl tank for the time being, just so you guys can see those chunky little sausages swimming around in their tank. But, and they love the pothos roots. Number one tip, so if you have axolotls or you're thinking about them, get pothos or something with huge roots. They will do what he's doing right now. I think they're both he's, but besides the fact, but they'll sit up in the roots like that, so it's pretty sick. But today, we're actually going to get another rehome. So this is not a rescue, this is not like a rehome in that regard. This person just had a baby boom and wants to rehome some fish, and there's some fish that I've thought about keeping. They're not a super rare fish. I'd say they're relatively common. They are prolific breeders, and this guy's just inundated with fish right now. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I just got the bucket filled up. We are leaving in about 10-15 minutes to go out. Nice dude, really nice dude. And yeah, I'm excited. But basically what we're gonna do is we're going to go get the fish. We're going to talk a little bit more about the fish. I'm going to show you the fish. I'm going to put them into one of the aquariums. I'm not 100% sold on what aquarium I'm going to put them into yet, solely because I don't know how big they are. Like, I've gotten pictures and I've gotten estimates, but it's one of those things where someone can say, oh, it's a 4-inch fish, and it's like, okay, yeah, it's a 4-inch fish, but you have to kind of see it, and I hope you guys get what I'm saying. But basically, I've got a couple of different ideas. There's a couple of different tanks that I can put it into. It is a cichlid. Again, no clue how the thumbnail looks yet, so maybe you guys already know what it is. But it's a cichlid, so I'm excited. But we're gonna go ahead and work on that, and yeah, we'll get it all taken care of. But I'll see you guys in a second once we go get them fish. Hey everyone, so we just got the fish, and I'm actually gonna, I just pulled off on the side of the road on a scenic route, not just on the side of the highway, but there's actually a scenic view area, and I just wanted to, I drive by this quite frequently, but I've never actually like looked at it, so I'm not gonna be talking, so if you wanna skip forward a couple of seconds, I'm gonna step out of the car and I'm gonna show you guys this view. But I know you guys came for the fish, but man, sometimes you just gotta sit back and go, yeah, I'm lucky to be here. So I want you guys to go ahead and see this. So we'll flip the camera around. I'm gonna step out, show you guys how it looks, and we'll go from there. I mean, it is just gorgeous. But we've got the fish, they're in the 5-gallon. Let's take them home, let's get this thing situated. Let's go from there. Okay, so we're back home, they're back home. They've actually been here for a little bit, as I kind of just been contemplating a few things, and I'm just looking around the fish room and just checking out some stuff as we walk in here. Perry's sleeping in her tubes, angelfish look beautiful. The tilapia tank, it is looking kind of stunning. Like, the tilapia are growing out pretty well, and then of course the saltwater tank's doing pretty well as well. We got the 2 clowns and the damsel somewhere in here. They're doing excellent. But basically, and here, let me see if I can catch. Okay, so I can, good. I don't know why, I guess I clicked the touch screen that made it stop recording then record. But Max will just do this all day. He'll just play around and just have a good old time. The angels are doing good. But they are down here, they're in the 5-gallon. And after much consideration, I have decided on what I'm going to do. That guy right there is going in the rec room, and all of these fish are going in this aquarium with that pleco. I think that's going to be okay. This was the PVC pipes that were connected to the back of this because I'm redoing this completely. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and take this PVC and I'm going to make a cave system for these things, just so that way they feel a little comfortable, because I'm going to end up taking some of the caves that are in there. Maybe that one, I don't know, because I feel like that guy sits on the side most days. The pleco, we'll go ahead and zoom on in on it, but the pleco that's like right there usually stays in these caves, and then this Oscar typically goes in these. But I'm basically going to be moving some of the caves and just rescaping, and also completely rescaping the 55 in the rec room to break up any kind of territories that the white Oscar has in there. I was a little bit worried about doing this, but I kind of just have to rip the band-aid off. Last time I didn't rescape, and there was a couple other things that I didn't do, but I really just need to move them over there because they are eventually going to live in one of these stock ponds together, so they have to get used to each other now, so that way they can cohabitate and be all good. But I think it'll be fine. I just kind of chickened out last time, and I didn't properly rescape the aquariums and do what I needed to do. That, and also the pleco that's been living with the white Oscar, I think it's getting used to living with fish again, because it did live with two Oscars originally, but that's neither here nor there. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is work on that. First and foremost, I need to break this apart, and I need to make the cave system, and I'm thinking about using some T's and definitely the elbows, and kind of making something cool out of it, something a little bit bigger, probably something more similar to like what Max and Barry have going on, but we shall see. But I'm going to go ahead and work on that. I'm going to spray paint it the brown color, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, it's go time. So a little bit of an update for you guys is that we've got this spray painting out here. So this is going to cure up. I'm probably not going to put it in there until tomorrow, but they have some stuff already in there. Ignore all the Zuko hair that's all over out there. We bathed them outside recently. And then doing a water change on the 55 in the rec room. This looks a little more barren because I did take out the bigger cave. And then, like I said, I'm doing a water change on this 55. So you can see, boom, that's what came out. And we're doing a water change on this aquarium right now. The Oscar is back in there. You can see it right there. That zucchini I put in there this morning, hence why it hasn't been eaten yet. And I believe that the pleco is also in here up at the top, because yeah, he's not in that tank, or not in that cave, so he's got to be in there. He loves being in there. So the proposed idea is that I take that and I move it to the middle. I move this maybe over there or over there, and then I put this somewhere as well, but just, I'm gonna kind of rescape this. I gotta move this Pogostemus ocellatus octopus. I've got to, because it keeps getting molmy. Like, it just molm, and it's probably because it's right next to the intake, but it keeps getting so cluttered. So I'm going to clean that off. I'm going to move it probably to the left side of the tank, which means I'll probably put the log actually closer to the right, and we'll figure it out. But yeah, just kind of wanted to give you guys an update. We're getting closer, but he's getting stressed out, which this is horrible of me to say, but it's kind of good, because that means that maybe when I rearrange everything, that it's going to be okay between that Oscar and the other Oscar. I think it's going to be okay. I just think, because we're talking, this was months ago when I tried introducing them, and that other Oscar has grown a lot. If you know Oscars grow very quickly, especially in the first couple of months. So I think it'll be good to go. But just want to show you guys an update. I'm going to continue to keep doing a water change on this. Shout out to the Python water change system. Absolutely love this. Going to do a video all about it and some different hacks that I have for it. I call it hacks. It's really just, one really major hack that I love. And I think I've even talked about it in a different video before. But I'll get it all taken care of. So I swear I'm doing more recording than actual work, it feels like, which is great because I want you guys to see the process. But also, I'm working on the scape right now. This is not done. The water's going to be pretty muddy because I'm kicking up a bunch of sand and silt and such and so on and so forth. But I feel like we never get to see this guy. And even me, I barely ever get to see this guy. It is in the log. Well, you saw him for a second, but it is a gorgeous fish. And I think maybe they just fought a little bit, or the Oscar got scared. Who knows? This Oscar jumps all the time. Like, not jumps out, but like is very, very skittish. And that pleco loves being in that cave. Water's coming through a lot clearer in real life than it is on camera right now, which typically it's the opposite. But Pogostemus is in the corner. I think that's gonna be where it stays. Who knows? But I'm gonna clean up a little bit more and we'll take it from there. Okay, so tank is filling back up. I want to get it partly filled back up before I add this guy in. But honestly, I like it way better. So we've got the main focal piece still being the log with the Java fern. We've, yes, got the PVC caves. Not the best thing in the world. Would I prefer non-PVC caves? Yes, of course. I would love to have like actual caves or actual wood, but I'm working with what I got right now, and the beautification of the fish room and the fish tanks that are inside the house, that'll come after the fact. I want them to have a happy, peaceful place to live for the time being, and then we can go from there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go net the other Oscar. I'm going to set this camera down, and you all will see probably none of this, unless I decide to time lapse it. I highly doubt I will time lapse it. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go net the other Oscar, put it in here, and then let this fill up, let it be, and then take it from there. Okay, I got him. Relatively easy move this time. Do not tell my girlfriend that I am dripping water all over our floors. That is something that now is a bond between you and I, you being the person watching this video. Also, didn't really move the lids that well, so go me. But let's go ahead and go, little dude. There we go. And of course, he's gonna pout at the bottom of the tank, as per usual. You guys probably saw none of that because I was staying right in front of the camera. But he's right down here, wigging out, not having the best of time. So let's go ahead and put the lids back on it. And just let it fill. Now, I don't believe in jinxing things. There's nothing to do with like religion or anything. I just don't think that me saying something is going to inherently jinx something. But just to put some good news to you all, A, he's doing great. He just, of course, when I pulled out the camera, is doling out, but they sat right next to each other in the log, and nothing happened. So I think maybe having the pleco in here, because before this, the white Oscar, the albino Oscar, had two other tank mates, two other Oscars in here for a while that were growing out with it. And then once those two were taken out and taken away, what ended up happening, and there's going to be a little bit of speed, there's going to be a little bit of aggression. That's just, they're cichlids. This has to happen. They're going to both go, whoa, what the heck is that other thing in the tank with me? But I think because it's had the pleco, that it's gotten used to having tank mates again, maybe? I don't know. And again, oh my gosh, there's going to be aggression. My breeding pair of angelfish show aggression towards each other day in and day out. They'll nip at each other, especially when there's fry. They'll calm down for the majority of the time, but what would cause a lot of concern for me is if these two were just right now duking it out, but also now that I've changed the scape drastically. I've added a whole new cave, I've added more plants, I've added more rocks, I've moved everything around. The albino Oscar feels like it's in a new place. Yes, does it probably feel comfortable in the log? To some capacity, I would assume so. But even that right there, where they're kind of like moving around with each other, and this is where he loves to be. He loves his top right corner. The black Oscar likes to actually use the entire aquarium, but I think it's gonna be way better this time. Now there will be fights. There's probably gonna be some fins that are messed up a little bit from time to time. Instead of using Fritz Complete like I typically do, or just the API water conditioner, I did the API Stress Coat Plus. So that'll hopefully mellow them out, and if anything does happen, help some fins regrow. But I really think adding that common pleco in here has helped. But the water level's getting pretty close, so let's go ahead and go turn off the water level, and then the next thing is to add, or I should say, help the fish that we are rehoming escape to be put into their new home. Don't you even think about jumping out. I will karate chop you right back into that water. But we should go turn off the water. We'll be back. It's finally time. We've done all this stuff. Hey, come here. We've done all this stuff, and we're finally ready to put the fish that we got today that we're rehoming into their forever aquarium. I was gonna say I had a furry assistant, but somebody decided that they wanted to lay down in front of the Oscar tank. That's like his favorite tank. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just because that albino Oscar is so white so that he can see it, but he just loves laying in the rec room right in front of that tank. And of course he's looking at me because I called him, otherwise he'd seriously be sitting over there chilling at the tank. Ignore the water in the background. Again, if you saw last episode, I'm working on, I resealed these 29s that are going on this rack, and also my plan, and again, if you guys watched last week's video, you guys saw the future. My plan is to also go ahead and spray paint them and get spray paint for that on next Monday. So a couple days from now, hopefully that happened. Who knows? You guys know how that video ended. I don't yet. But that aquarium's looking kind of bare. Again, I will be having some PVC cave action going on in there. I already have the one outside, and it's spraying, it's curing. But enough talk, enough of this going back and forth. Let's set this up where I want it, which should be like right here. And let's go ahead. Okay, I'll figure out a way to set it up a good way. But let's go ahead. Let's dump these fish out and let's get them in the tank so you can see what we got today. We're breaking them out. Okay, they are going crazy. Gotta get them in here. Come on, get in the water. Get in the water. And you are free. And just like cichlids, they go right to the bottom. That is wild. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, all 8 of them are in there. That is wild. And the dude that I got them from did use like gravel for the substrate, so I will be taking that gravel out. But as you can see, they are convict cichlids. Now, I am for the day going to go ahead and turn off the power head, and I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I'm going to grab the rocks, I'm going to turn them off. But they are not only just a convict cichlid, they're a convict cichlid mixed with a pink convict cichlid. So it's a normal convict cichlid mixed with a pink convict, and we've got 8 of them. They are very prolific breeders. We'll see how they grow out and we'll see how they do. They should be gorgeous. And of course the python's going crazy behind me. But I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the wave maker for them now, just to let them get recuperated, and we'll go from there. This video's been a little unhinged, to say the least. It's been kind of little cuts here and there and go and sightseeing, but as I always do, I'll show you this again tomorrow morning. I'm probably gonna show it to you, maybe not tomorrow morning, but maybe the next morning, because I do want to play with the scape a little bit, because this was okay for the Oscar and the pleco, but we're kind of at that point now where I want to kind of maybe redo the scape a little bit, but all of them are up top right there. They've been kind of going along the bottom, and they're up top, and then they're bottom, but they're schooling. They are staying together, so it's kind of cool. But we're draining the 29s. We're doing things. We're out here, and all I gotta say is big things are coming. Ain't that right, Zuko? He's like, let me eat, man. Let When you buy sardines and my kibble and such. But yeah, I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited. We're not editing the video out. We're gonna play with the aquascape, especially now that I see how small they are really. That 1-inch PVC is gonna be fine for a little while. I don't know how prolific of a grower these cichlids are, but they'll be fine for the time being. Probably gonna have to split the colony up. I know that going forward, so don't worry. Might end up rehoming a pair, or maybe I'll keep 6 together in a 75 and I'll pair off another 2 into a breeding tank or something. So who knows, but I'm gonna play with the scape. Just there's something really big either coming up next episode or the episode after or video after, whatever, something coming up big soon, and it's gonna be a huge step for the fish room. That's all I gotta say. I'm not gonna hype it up anymore, but we'll be back tomorrow morning, the morning after, at some point when the scape is done. Okay, so I rescaped everything, but I wanted to quickly just show you all the fact that they're getting along. And this Oscar is pitch black. Like, I've seen this Oscar black before. This is ridiculous. Now, when it gets into the light, it does lighten up a little bit. And see, they'll bicker because they're cichlids. And yeah, but they are doing beautifully. I mean, just absolutely beautifully. And again, I think I mentioned it recently. He's about to crash out, though. Zuko loves sitting in here exclusively with this tank, but I'm loving the aquascape. I think the octopus is actually doing a little bit better, surprisingly. I think there's less mulm on it. I didn't get all of it off, and all of the detritus and whatever algae's on it. That one particular leaf was one of the 2 that has died back pretty hard, but the other ones that I planted over here, they're doing pretty good. And you can see in the back there, little baby plant. But let's go ahead and let's grab, I'll grab some Hikari food sticks today. That'll be what we can feed these fishes, and then we'll go show you the convicts, and we'll feed the convicts too. But okay, that was easy. Good. So yeah, they haven't really been food aggressive. He's got one in his mouth, almost like it was a cigar or like a cigarette or something. I cannot say enough how much I love those Casa Wi-Fi timers. They are by far one of my best investments for the fish game. But here's the new scape. So it is a little bit different. So we've got 3 PVCs with elbows, and it's got a cave going that way. We've got this cave set up, and we've got the original cave in here. The pleco on the side still growing out. But these convicts are beautiful. Now, the big one kind of chases everyone else around to a degree. It looks like maybe these 2 are pairing off already because they have not been fighting each other. I know it's only been a couple of days, but they're tending to fight off this area. So it's like these 2, I'm 99% sure that they've paired off, because even that little one and this little one actually over here that's chasing the other one now is just, I am just in love with it. This thing is just so colored up and so beautiful. But they'll get their own territories. I want to say that like those 2 are definitely pairing off. I want to say out of all of the fish in the aquarium though, that this convict right there is the biggest and the most dominant. The only reason I say that is just because how his colors have flared up a couple of times. But I mean, look at how gorgeous that fish is. I mean, it's just beautiful. And it goes in and it can fit into the little cave, so it's good. They don't mess with the pleco at all like normal. Heck, there might be a convict in that scape right now. This one's up top. Sometimes cichlids will get a little scared and they'll go up top, but hey, we've got to get territories figured out. But I really think that these 2 have already paired off, and if that's the case, oh boy, that's gonna be fun in its own right. But we'll let them keep going. Maybe these 2 will pair off. I don't exactly know how to sex convicts yet. I believe it has to do with their fin like shape. So if you see this one, how it's got like streamers, and then if you look at the other one, how it doesn't necessarily have streamers, I think that's gonna be how it is. Hey, little dudes using the cave, all good and stuff. But yeah, I'm stoked. Everything's doing really, really good in here though. I will say none of them touch how beautiful Max looks. Just from like the green sheen, and I gotta clean up his aquarium a little bit, but the green sheen, the red, the blue, he's just such a nice little fish, man. Max is great. Like he is by far, and that, oh man, how flowy that fin is. I want to get him a mate just because I just think he's just such a beautiful fish, and he's spawned before. She said that he loves having fry around him, so and he's like a really good dad. So we'll see. Maybe we get a another polar cichlid. I know a local breeder in the area has this variant, so we'll see. But yeah, all said and done, it's pretty good. If you saw last video where I gave a quick update on the fact that the wigglers are wiggling, and maybe I can get a little bit of it. Yeah, mom is not happy, but maybe they're wiggling. I don't know. Hopefully you guys can see something. If not, you're just looking at a leaf. But if you saw the last video where I updated you, hey, same shirt on. It's because I'm recording the video same day, as I tend to do. So they're still wiggling. They're getting to the point, and you might have seen Dad kind of picking some up in its mouth. They're getting to the point where some of them are developing slightly faster, so they're starting to wiggle off the leaf, and sometimes they'll fall off the leaf. Dad grabs it, puts it back on the leaf. Sometimes Mom does it, but I think right now Mom's kind of going out, and again, this one right here, if I didn't have the garage light, just destroying it. This one right here, the veil tail, that one's Mom. The one in the back, the koi, that one's the Dad. But they're being good parents again. I've got the 2 brine shrimp hatcheries all set up and good to go. I'm gonna start hatching, do 1 batch a day, feed it out, and yeah, eventually they'll be in one of these 29s, which will be more than enough space for them, especially with the fry, and then that will be some other tank, who knows. One thing that I'm kind of struggling with right now is like, man, I'm running out of tanks. But then I remember I've got this 75 that eventually will be its own tank and not just a saltwater tank. The 75 that's down here that has all the tilapia will not always be tilapia. This 55 will also not always be tilapia. That 20 gallon is just a quarantine, and it'll eventually go into there. The 20 some odd or 40 some odd that's down there is also just a quarantine tank. Probably will stay a quarantine tank. Maybe we have a different tank somewhere else as a quarantine, who knows. Maybe we actually scape that one out and do something and have like a quarantine. Because what I could honestly do, and this actually just came to me, especially if I get another, ooh, that might actually work. If I get another 20 gallon and put it like right here underneath the breaker so I can keep it open, maybe that'll work. Or even in the corner, I don't know. Maybe we'll get a quarantine set up somewhere else. But yeah, I have enough tanks. Also, the Oscars are eventually, the 2 Oscars that we rehomed are gonna go into one of these 2, and then the other 2 Oscars that we have are gonna go into another, so that frees up 2 more tanks, one of which we already have an idea for, but the other one might just be a beautiful, the one in the rec room might end up just being a heavily planted, beautiful community tank, and I think that's gonna be what it ends up going, with like the serpes and the black skirts and maybe some angels and just some overall just fun times. But who knows? If you did enjoy, please by all means like this video, subscribe, stay tuned. It's gonna be a good one, and I hope you all enjoyed. But until next time, I'll see you in the next video.